out here at the hospital job this morning. This is the first test of the new drain pipe that we put in for them. As you can see, the water from the fire sprinkler system is starting to be emptied. The system does a self-diagnosis every Monday morning. As part of that, it completely empties it down, so it dumps out several thousand gallons of water onto this area of the parking lot. As you can see from the paving, the several decades of having a puddle here every Monday morning has caused considerable damage to the parking lot. We've installed a new drain system over the weekend, including a new catch basin and a little over 600 feet of pipe connecting it to an existing retention pond. The challenge on this was that we have very little elevation change from the highest point in the catch basin that we put in to the bottom of the existing retention pond, and we are essentially flat. It was exacerbated a little bit by the fact that this run is about an extra 50 feet more than we initially were planning on because of having to avoid some fiber optics cables. You can see the flow is starting to come out, starting to increase. It will steadily increase for the next few minutes. You can see the flows starting to pick up pretty good at this point. The bottom of the control structure is starting to fill up. If you look carefully on that right side, you can see the pipe up towards the top of the structure. It's about as high up as we could have put it without getting into the reinforcing band on the top of the precast structure. Now up into the pipe level, water's starting to flow out, but because of the level slope on the pipe, it's not a fast process. Our calculations would show that the level is going to increase up to close to the bottom of the grate. We don't believe it'll overflow the grate because of the head pressure, which is essentially the only thing driving the flow out of the pipe. Top of the new drain line. You can hear, if you listen carefully, the pipe is starting to gulp air at that point. So the pipe is almost completely full. We believe the flow is actually going to overflow the top of the pipe slightly. At that point in time, the gulping sound should stop and the pipe will be at what is basically 100% capacity. As you can see, the system's now starting to cycle down, the flow's starting to diminish. We never did overflow the bottom of the grate. The top of the pipe was completely underwater, so we were both at the physical and calculated maximum capacity on that pipe. You can see now, once again, the pipe is starting to gulp air, so the level in the control structure has receded to right at or just below the top edge of the pipe. It's a little hard to tell from the video, but standing here, you can tell that the flow coming out of the fire system has started to subside substantially. Should be, according to my timings, coming to a complete stop pretty quickly. Obviously, it'll take a couple minutes after a system stops emptying for the flow to catch up and stop flowing into the control structure. Just about to the end of the flow here. Here we are down at the outlet end. You can see the pipe. This is the full flow out of the pipe under the head pressure at the inlet end. The big part of the problem here is we're at or slightly below the pond level, so it did not take us very long to fill up the pond, and it's starting to exhibit some back pressure onto the outflow.